You're watching your local television network, TSPN, and now back to Love, Hope, and Faith with Heather Murdock.
Welcome back, and we are on the final segment, and it has gone by too quickly. I love your stories. Thank you so much for sharing them. Francis, if you want to hear more, Francis has written a beautiful book called In Borrowed Houses, and Austin's going to tighten this in so you can see it. It's a beautiful book. When did you write this, Francis?
Well, I wrote it over a long period of time,
Okay.
After we retired in 1995. But I wrote it, it's based on, I had letters and diaries that I had kept, and so I used all of those materials to reproduce the experiences.
Exactly. So In Borrowed Houses, a true story of love and faith amidst war in Lebanon. I love it. It sounds beautiful. I've got to read this. Okay, so you've brought some pictures. You emailed me some pictures that we're going to show. So
Yes.
set that up a little bit, and then we'll have Sarah show the pictures.
Yes, all of these pictures are from Lebanon, and these pictures are actually in my book, I believe, all of them.
Okay, good.
And they capture a few essential things, like there's a picture of the house that, will we know the order of the pictures? Can I ask for them in a certain order? Or
No, we just put them
let
up.
me just explain them as I see them.
Yeah,
then.
so go ahead. What's that one about?
Well, this is our Wayne with our daughter Jan.
Okay.
Jan had arrived for a visit. This was during the Civil War.
Okay.
But there, the war was not continuous, and there were breaks, and she had kind of lost her peace about our being in Lebanon, and she wanted to come and see us, so we let her come. They're on a small boat that you had to go out to the ferry that went across to Cyprus.
Okay.
This picture was actually made when she had been with us for a while and she was leaving. This is in the port of Juni.
Okay.
Which is a beautiful city north of Beirut.
Looks beautiful. Okay, go ahead.
That's the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Okay, what's this?
And this is just a picture of war damage. A lot of Beirut looked like this.
Yes. How many years did the war go on?
Oh, the war lasted for 15 years.
15 years, wow.
And we were there for most of that time.
You must have been scared a lot.
Oh, well, it was fearful. Many times, very fearful.
Yes, oh my gosh. Okay, go ahead. All right.
And this is just another war destruction picture. Don't need to tarry long on this. This is a destroyed street. Some of these pictures were in a Palestinian refugee camp that was destroyed in the fighting. This is my dear friend Maria. Maria's story is in my book. Maria was a new convert whom I discipled. And she has a wonderful story, and she's in my book. This is just a picture of a shell exploding.
Wow.
We've seen that many times from the windows of our office, and these children are in a refugee camp in Beirut. These are Palestinian children. Look at the pockmarked wall behind them.
Yes.
To show what kind of environment they live in.
I mean, the kids must be in constant anxiety and fear. Oh, everyone, but the kids.
It was very hard on children.
Yeah.
It really was very hard on children. And what kind of scars they have inside, we don't know.
Yeah.
This is a picture of me with some of the members of my staff. This picture was made in the early 90s. Happy group of people, publishing staff. They,
I think that's it. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see a picture of the house there, but that's okay.
Okay.
With the house that's pictured on the cover of the book, this is actually a picture of the house that Wayne remodeled. It was an abandoned house. It was in bad need of repair. It had never been finished inside. It was being used as a stable. And Wayne loves to take things nobody else wants and turn them into something good.
Oh, that's wonderful.
and he made it into a very lovely house.
Yeah. And so you raised your kids here?
No.
No.
Our children were in America by then when
Okay.
we took this house.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but they were obviously, you had your children
Our children were with
born
us.
in the Middle East, or were they born in America?
We took 5 children with us when we went.
Okay.
And they came home one by one as they came home to go to college, basically.
Okay.
And and each one went to a different place, and they scattered across the country.
Yeah.
This house was abandoned, of course, and in the lower part of the house was a mule and a place for 11 cows, and there was a room for chickens, which came in at ground level and walked down a piece of tree to the floor. And we bought it like that. And one of the conditions of buying the house was that the mule be gone from what was the living room.
That's right. No mules in the living room.
No
That's the
mules
house
in the
rule.
living room.
That's good. You can't play ball in the house, and you can't keep the mule in the house.
Right.
Yeah.
But the reason it's called in borrowed houses is the theme of borrowed houses goes all the way through my book, really, because people lost their houses because they were destroyed, and people were wandering, looking for a place to live. Housing was a difficult problem for many periods of time, and missionaries tended to borrow one another's house. If somebody came home on a furlough, and somebody else needed a house, we would live in one another's houses. So we did borrow one another's houses a lot.
Yeah.
And then I had a dream in which there was a beautiful house on the beach, and this lovely Lebanese couple invited me to bring my family and take a vacation in this house. And so I accepted their invitation, and then in my dream, my daughter, who was only a little girl in the dream, opened a door and said, "Mother, there's a dead man in this room." And I told her, "It's not our business. He was here when we came, just shut the door." And then I woke up horrified at what I had said. So the idea that, it bothered me for many years, the meaning of this dream, until I realized that Lebanon is really a place that I have borrowed. It's a borrowed home. I can't stay here forever. And what is my responsibility for the evil that I see? What is my responsibility for violence and hatred, and what do I do as an alien in this situation? What is my role? So that's why I named it In Borrowed Houses.
Interesting. And so what was your role?
Sorry?
So what was your role?
I think our role was to be that loving friend, and there are stories there about my love for the Palestinians. There's stories there about Muslims. There's stories about Christians. There were a lot of Christians in Lebanon. God gave us love for all kinds of people. And
They're His people.
Right,
Everyone
right.
is His people.
And really, we felt love in return, and had wonderful relationship with the people there. And we still do have many, many friends.
Where can someone buy your book, Francis?
It's published by Westbow Press.
Okay.
You can buy it online. You can buy it from Amazon, from Barnes & Noble, any of the online
How much
bookstores.
is
it? The publisher's price is $23. Amazon sells it a little less.
Yeah.
I have it. I have some and sell it for $20.
Okay.
And so
Good. I love it. You guys, I'm already running out of time here, and I do have to mention one more thing about Christmas Child I want to remind our viewers of. So we need to wrap it up now.
Okay.
But thank you so much. I mean, there's so much more we could talk about, and I think I'd like to have you back at some point and share more, because I just feel like there's just a lot of gems, a lot of gems in your stories.
We love talking about our Arab friends.
Yes, I love that, and thank you.
We would enjoy talking with them.
Yes, exactly, and it's just
In
great.
Arabic.
It's great because it gives people a different perspective of what the Middle Eastern people are like and what their culture is like. Okay, right? And that's part of your passion, is to do that. Because you have a blog too. Tell our viewers what your blog is.
Yes, my blog is in borrowedhousesfrancisfuller.com. That's my website, and I do blogging. I write stories that are not in the book. I write comments on what's happening in the Arab world now, and how that, because a lot of it does relate to my book still. You can find the seeds of it in my book.
Amen.
And understand it better. You can understand the news better if you've read my book.
Absolutely. Good. So I recommend everyone go to francisfuller.com, right?
In Borrowed Houses, Francis Fuller.
In borrowedhousesfrancisfuller.com. Good. And I'm going to do one more mention here. Marcia Burney has asked me to remind everyone that in the Upcountry Operation Christmas Child shoeboxes can be dropped off at either Sierra Baptist Church or American River Bank, both off Buckhorn Ridge Road in Pioneer. So if you have Christmas Child boxes you need to drop off for Upcountry, please do so at the Sierra Baptist Church or at the American River Bank, both in Buckhorn. So that's very important you would know that. So again, thank you so much for being on today. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
We enjoyed it.
We really love your work. Thank you for
so
being
much.
such faithful servants of Jesus.
Praise
You
the
guys,
Lord.
the heavens are celebrating your names. Absolutely. So I want to direct you again, if you want to go to the tspntv.com website, or go to YouTube and type in Love, Hope, and Faith with Heather Murdock, and there you can check out all the other shows. tspntv.com is a great website as a resource for our community with headlines and events and all the other programming. So we will see you soon, and remember, I'm always praying for you. Have a great week.